Why aren't people clicking on my videos?
Should I put text in my thumbnails?
I thought I was supposed to put my face in my thumbnails.
Aren't my thumbnails supposed to all look similar?
Does any of this sound familiar? You're a small channel trying to get people to notice you, and no matter what you do, you just can't seem to get views on your videos. My name is Daniel, and I'm here to help. I'm gonna give you a simple 4-step strategy that's gonna get traffic flowing to your channel. And today, we're gonna learn step 2. Thumbnails. Now, I know you think you might already have a handle on thumbnails, but thumbnails are the second most important part of your video behind your titles. Because once you get positioned for that perfectly crafted title that we talked about in our first episode, now you need to win the click, as they say, from all of the videos and the other thumbnails that are suggested around you.
Why doesn't YouTube just tell us what a good thumbnail looks like?
Well, guess what? They do, but the answer is different for almost every channel out there. But let me help you find where that answer is located. First, let me quickly address a couple of the common issues that creators deal with every time they make a thumbnail. Number 1, should I be putting text or my face in my thumbnail? Okay, there's a bit of evidence that shows that putting a face in a thumbnail tend to get clicked slightly more often than ones without. But listen to me. The real answer here is whatever gets people to click your thumbnail over the other thumbnails around it, that's what should be in your thumbnail. That being said, if you do use text, make sure it's readable. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make in their thumbnails is they get all wrapped up in trying to have the coolest font out there. But by the time the thumbnail gets shrunken down on a mobile device, you can't even read anything it says. Another mistake I see creators making is using way too much text. Come on, people, it isn't a highway sign, it's a thumbnail. People don't read thumbnails, they just glance at them. Only put in your thumbnail what a potential viewer could understand at a glance. Number 2, the timestamp. The timestamp is that little time code that YouTube superimposes on every thumbnail on YouTube. It lets the viewer know ahead of time how long each video is. Danger lies down in that corner. Keep things away from that corner. Because if you do put text there, people will most likely not be able to read it. Number 3, should all my thumbnails look similar? That's branding, right? This is a big speed bump for a lot of new creators, and I'm gonna ruffle a few feathers here. People get all wrapped up in trying to make their thumbnails similar, in creating what they think is their brand, before they even know what the viewers they're trying to reach even like in a thumbnail. You're a young channel. Experiment. Try different things. It's okay if your thumbnails all look a little different right now while you try to figure out what's best for your channel. On my channel right now, it looks like a thumbnail factory threw up in there. Because right now I'm testing a bunch of different thumbnails to see which style my audience responds best to. I was using this thumbnail and I thought it looked pretty good. But guess what? My viewers thought this thumbnail was twice as good. I tested this with TubeBuddy's A/B thumbnail tester and it got twice the click-through rate of the first thumbnail. And there it is. I said the magic words, click-through rate. Now listen to me very carefully because this is where all the magic lies. Click-through rate might sound like some fancy schmancy mathematical term that you would need an engineering degree to understand. It's just YouTube trying to tell you, just you, what your audience thinks of your thumbnails. Click-through rate is just a percentage of how many times people click your thumbnail when it's put in front of them by YouTube. They call showing the thumbnail to people impressions. I guess show'ems was already taken. To find this stuff, this click-through rate, log into your YouTube account. Once you're into YouTube Studio Beta, click on videos to find the video you want to learn about, click on analytics, and finally the reach viewers tab. And there you'll see the information funnel that will show you your click-through rate. YouTube has said the average click-through rate across the platform is between 2% and 10%. And before you ask, there is no perfect CTR. A 3.7 click-through rate on a video that's getting good views and performing well can actually be a really good click-through rate. And listen, a completely sucky thumbnail might be the perfect thumbnail for your video. Remember that air fryer beef jerky video I told you about from the first episode? That thumbnail haunts me to this day. It is disgusting, but it has an 8% lifetime click-through rate. So guess what? That ugly thumbnail is the perfect thumbnail for that video because people are clicking it. And I'm gonna leave that right where it is. The biggest tip I can give you is make sure that the video delivers on the promise that the thumbnail makes. If I show a picture of me eating a tarantula in a thumbnail, I better make sure that I I eat a tarantula in the video. I did. It was disgusting. What you don't want to have happen is someone click the thumbnail, watch the video, and bail after 10 seconds thinking, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. Here's another tip. If you still can't figure out what you think your thumbnail should look like, do a search for the title that you plan on using in your video. See what other people are doing. See what their thumbnails look like. Another strategy is what I like to call being the white ball in the red room. If there was an entire room of colorful red balls and one bland white ball was put in there, the white one would stick out. And bam, that's the one your eye is drawn to. And the last tip, it's good to ask people what they think of your thumbnails and reach out to people to get their opinions. But at the end of the day, even my opinion is crap. The only opinions that matter are the opinions of the people who are either clicking or not clicking your thumbnail. And if you have a good click-through rate, that's a good thumbnail, no matter what anyone else tries to tell you. So try different things, go for it. And if you've learned anything here today, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss the rest of this conversation. Peace.